Hey guys, I hope you're having a great summer. I just got up from my garden, found this zucchini in there. If anybody has a good recipe for zucchini bread, let me know, because I don't know what to do with these things. I have two out there that look like submarines. Anyway, it's the end of July, so it's time to start thinking about planting for fall. My seed mix is put together. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. I have to think over the price of the different seeds and how much to put in for my different clients that have certain needs. Now, we always want to put in a legume, a couple grasses, brassicas, and three legumes will go into this mix. So let's get to it. We'll go over what I'm putting in the mix and what those plants look like and why I'm using them. The main thing about a food plot in the fall is to get you through fall, fatten up the deer, and have something for deer to eat all winter, early spring when they really need it. The earliest thing to green up is what we want in our food plots. And then we can even have grain available for them in June the following year. So that's how we're putting it together, and stay tuned to the end, and I have something for you at the end that you might like. Okay, first up is Austrian winter peas. Winter peas are a fantastic, cold-tolerant plant. It's a legume that can produce a heck of a lot of nitrogen, good for the soil, and if it makes it through till spring, and the deer don't eat it all, it makes beautiful flowers for pollinators, and it'll put on bean pods for you. But these tendrils that come up, I've seen them come right up through solid ice. Those things are completely cold tolerant and is a great soil building, nitrogen producing plant. Next up is crimson clover. Crimson is an annual clover planted in the fall. And in the spring, it comes up real early and very quickly puts on these beautiful red flowers. It's a nice looking plant. And when these flowers ripen and set seed, you can actually, and we'll talk about Balanza clover too, the two of them set seed pretty early in the summer, and you can run those down later on in the summer and they replant themselves. Real hardy, cold tolerant forage. I've seen deer dig down through crusty snow to get at it. So I like it for winter. Balanza clover is also an annual. The nice thing about Balanza, it's slow to start, so it doesn't really dominate in the fall, but it comes on pretty strong in the spring. It's going to flower a little bit later than the crimson. You can see crimson in this picture mixed with it. You see the utilization cage, deer eating it like crazy. It'll also make seeds, and you can run a disc harrow over this field late in the summer and it'll replant itself. Hairy vetch is a plant that is kind of tough to beat as far as being hardy. You just can't kill this stuff. And that's why farmers don't like it, because it's hard to terminate. There's a lot of hard seed. It reseeds itself. Never seems to go away. But I can tell you that one of my new fields up in the mountains, I planted hairy vetch in the mix. I pulled up a plant and it looked like this in flower, and there were worms in the root ball. So I was pretty excited to see that. And deer don't hammer it, they don't destroy it, but they will eat it. And it's one of the top nitrogen producers. And I don't really have a problem getting rid of it the following spring. As long as you don't plant a pure stand of it, I don't think it's a problem. I've had farmers tell me that it gets wrapped up in their equipment, but I don't see it getting that big. Chicory is a great plant to put in the fall. This is chicory here. It's mixed with some red clover in this case. But chicory is hard to beat because it's very cold tolerant, deep taproot. If it's real hot and dry, like it was this year, chicory just laughs at that. Doesn't bother a bit. You can browse it real heavy and it'll just grow right back. This is a picture of collards and hybrid rape. These are great plants for the fall. They produce tons and tons of forage. You don't need very much of it in a mix, and deer love it. When the frost comes and other things are kind of hardening off, they really come into their own, and You cannot kill a collard. Those things, you can mow them right down to the root collar and they'll sprout right back and make new leaves. So terrific plant for both summer and winter food plots. Here's a picture from the University of Tennessee where they planted awnless wheat next to regular bearded wheat. Without the spikes that come out of the seed heads, you can see where the deer have eaten all of the seed heads off of that wheat. So next June, when wheat bolts and goes to seed head, deer can get plenty of nutrition out of the grain. I have some cold tolerant oats that will give you the same thing. The deer can eat the oats all next summer. So you'll have crimson clover, balanza clover, greens of the wheat, and then when the wheat bolts, you'll have the grain. So you can get a much longer period of feed. All right. Now you can terminate or drill right through this wheat, but I think it's a lot easier to drill through wheat that has no seed heads on it. This wheat here is just a bunch of dead stalks, and you could drill a summer plot right through that. So I like wheat for food plots for over the winter. Not a big fan of rye, mostly because rye gets super tall and dense, and most guys plant it at like 100 pounds to the acre, and it just gets to be too much. You can't handle it. Deer don't want to eat the seed heads, and it shades out virtually everything. Then you got a problem getting rid of it. Where wheat is a little shorter, deer will eat it very readily from the time it pops out of the ground all the way until it looks like this. So I'm a big fan of wheat, and it'll handle the cold weather too. I'm also going to put a little triticale in this mix, also a beardless variety. But I wanted to check with Keith Burns and make sure that deer will eat the seed heads. I don't know why they wouldn't, but I just want to double check that. All right, so that's what I'm doing for this fall for my clients. We're going to drill this stuff in at the end of August. If you have any questions or any suggestions, let me know what your experiences are with your food plots in the fall. Also, click down below. I have something for you down there. There's a free instructional video on how to put a mix together and make your own custom mixes. I think it's pretty informative, and it'll help you save a lot of money on seed and get a better food plot for the fall. All right, good luck this year. I'll see you next time.